Hey everybody, how's it going? Randy here with Nerds Templar. It is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate AI League. And it is set 21, the final set for the blue division here. We only have two subsets left to go. The blue division here and the yellow to finish. And then we're done with the regular season. And we move to the divisional rounds of the playoffs. Of course, 1 day each for 2 rounds each for every division. That would be 4 days, and then the last 2 days, that'll be Friday and Saturday next week. We'll be finishing up the league playoffs in those 2 days. So next week, 6 days, the entire playoffs postseason will be done and completed. So we're at the end, my friends. After 20 sets in the blue here, Ganondorf 15-4 by himself. Snake, Sora, Steve, and Banjo, though, all 14-5, just a game behind him, so nobody is secure in that top 3 just yet. Captain Falcon behind him in 13-6 has a chance himself. Roy 12-7, Cloud 12-7 as well. That is the top 8. Meta Knight's 11-8, the only one who can still make that top 8 because he beat Roy. So if Roy loses and Meta Knight wins, then Meta Knight can get in. If Roy and Cloud lose and Meta Knight wins, then it's a 3-way tie there, and Roy still has a chance to get in. And we'll have to see about Cloud versus Meta Knight. We could have a 3-way tie with one beating one and each of them beating one and losing to another one. After that, we got Ness at 10-9. Inkling is 9-11 on her bye, but their bye. The collective Inkling squad on their bye today, finally. Then 8-11, big 8-11 pack, just like in the green. Falco, Lucas, Wario, Pacman, Palutena. What? 5 of them? Yes, and only 2 can make it. And one of them is going to be in the bottom 6. With the 6-13 Fox, 5-14 Rob, the 4-15 Pichu, the 3-16 Ken, and Rosalina and Luma. Ken beat her. Them, I suppose. All of them are out of the playoffs that are out of... all out of playoffs are also going to stay here in the staying 6. They're all in. It's only one other one, that's 5. And so basically whoever does the worst in the 8-11 pack here is going to be staying. Everybody else will be moving on, and the best 2 will even get to go to the playoffs. And Inkling could, is on the brink as well with 9-11. A lot of these 8-11s obviously hoping to get there today, so we'll see if Inkling can remain. Because 3 of them could get in, knocking Inkling out. 3 of the 8-11s currently could make it. Anyway, that all being said, this final set, we've got Pacman taking on Lucas, Palutena versus Falco, Wario versus Ken, Steve against Fox, Rob versus Snake, Pichu versus Sora, Rosalina and Luma taking on Banjo and Kazooie, Captain Falcon versus Cloud, Ness against Meta Knight, and finally Ganondorf versus Roy. And again, Inkling on the bye at 9-11. Hoping, waiting, let us begin. Original skins, because it's all business today. Pacman, 8-11. Lucas, 8-11. We're starting with all of them today because there's 5 and 4 of them play each other. So there's 2 here and 2 in the next match, all 8-11, and then Wario to finish them after that. So we're going to know which 8-11s are in, where everybody stands. Sort of. As long as you know all the matchups, then you'll know. But Inkling may be brought into this whole thing, so we shall see. Falco, at the top of this 8-11 pack, beat Pacman and Lucas. Has to fight Palutena. Lucas beat Wario and Palutena, as Pacman here. Wario defeated Falco and Palutena already, and that's just it. He's basically 2-2 in this. And then we have Pacman who beat Wario and has Lucas now, and Palutena who beat Pacman and has Falco. So, basically two that are 2-1 with a match left. 1 that's 2-2, and 2 that are 1-2 with a match left. So really anybody's game, anybody's playoffs. Pretty crazy how it ended up, especially with these guys all fighting each other. It's even crazier. Lucas trying to make his way back in, 13-7 last season here in the blue. Oh, what a nice combo, but I don't exactly know why that did like nothing to Pacman. But Lucas finishes it right afterward. That's a tying knockout, however, for him. 27 right now on Lucas's second. still tied up. Taking some damage though. Pacman retaining this very slight lead he's got now. And struggling, I don't know, between the two of these guys, who's been struggling more. It's kind of really neck and neck in that regard. Both of them, honestly, yeah, they've both been like right beside each other the whole time. Like the bottom middle half, Pacman not allowing Lucas back to the stage. And beautiful knockout, supersized. Gigantic help there. And, ooh, nice. Lucas just hopped over the poison mushroom and then he went and grabbed it. What? Not the best choice there. Little PK Fire voice. And yeah, he had the Pacman, the super size advantage. Does nothing with it, though. He does have the lead still. 53 on him. Super size mushroom again. But Lucas not taking any damage. As long as he can get a quick knockout here, he'll be tied up again. But a poison mushroom for Lucas may not help. Oh, nice snag by Pacman of the super mushroom just before it hits Lucas. And with the cherries on top, it won't be enough. It won't be enough. Grabs Lucas as he comes back though, and that one might be enough. I don't think PK Thunder's gonna get him back. Yes, that will do it. That fire hydrant was coming for him next if that wasn't enough. Pacman, a beautiful win there for him. Wow, what a match for him. And yeah, he's not a gimme. He's not a shoo-in for the playoffs. He's now 2-2. Wario and Lucas being his wins. It might be enough, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. It's big that he beat Lucas because Lucas is second place in the 8 and 11 pack, so he was actually in 13th, getting into the playoffs. Falco's the other one above him. It's going to come down to that. And if Inkling, I mean, with the win there, actually, is huge. We'll have to see how Pacman did against Inkling. I will tell you in a moment. All right. Inkling did beat Pacman. And so in that 9 and 11 tie, Inkling's still safe. Doesn't bode too well for Pacman, but it is going to... A lot of other things are going to matter, obviously. He just beats out Lucas. I mean, there's that. It just... he beat Wario and Palutena. That is Lucas. Got Palutena and Falco here. Falco beat Pacman and Lucas. Palutena beat Pacman. And so... Not great for Pacman, either of these, really. As far as Falco goes, yeah, it's good for both of them. So they were both hoping for well, Falco beat both of them, so it didn't matter as much. But Palutena was hoping for the Lucas win, or I guess, oh, never mind. I guess they were hoping for the Pacman win. I take it back. So Lucas did beat Palutena. She at least was hoping for that. Falco didn't care either way. And Wario, he beat Falco and Palutena. Wario, the one who's doesn't have to fight another 8-11 today. Beat both of these two. So again, he doesn't really care either. Either way, he was gonna go, if he wins, he'll go into that 1-1 and then it'll be determined, of course. It will matter about Inkling. All about Inkling. But if not enough people, okay, so because if Wario doesn't win, then it's just 9-11 gets you in, and that's that. All 9-11s make it. But so it will kind of be dependent on Wario in that case, because we know 2 other ones have to win. We know it's at least going to be 9-11. It's just a matter of if there's an extra one in there, then might not make playoffs. It's 2 of them got to go to 8-12, and then one of those 8-12s will not make the move in middle. One will get stuck here this season. Who will it be? Again, looking good, looking better in that case, in that regard, for like Falco and Lucas. They have more wins already coming into this. Wario even, honestly, because he's got the 2. It's at least not 1. Right now, speaking of 1, both 1 stock at the moment, in a very close one. Falco with a very tiny lead. And he is now very tiny. Just barely gets back to the stage, I think, there. 77 on Palutena, 45 on Falco. Not much of a lead, but a Super Mushroom that is going to turn things around very quickly. Well, not turn them around, but it could end things very quickly. Just a hit away, but no, Falco more on the defensive than anything there. 80 to 66. He's tiny now again. Launched, not quite the whole way, and now we got a super-sized Palutena. Falco's back to normal size, but that is not going to be enough. Palutena with the knockout and the victory. GG. Palutena almost also securing her spot in the playoffs. But again, because of Wario having, it's hilarious that he's the one that doesn't fight any of the other 8 and 11s. And based on the way things fell, he beat the 2 and 1 matchup, and he lost to both in the other matchup. It's just crazy. So it means again that if he wins, he's already going in 1 and 1 with the Inkling match to determine whether he's better, 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, and then it'll of course come down to the rest. We already know Inkling Inkling beat Pacman, and the one that's already 9-11. We will see now about Inkling versus Palutena, how that ended up. So not as the 8 and 11 Wario, basically in a win and in situation. He is in it against one of the worst fighters in the league. Easiest match he could have, basically. Ken and Rosalina both tied at 3 and 16, and Ken just gonna immediately eliminate himself and give Wario that nice big advantage, and then pull a poison mushroom. Why not? Wario almost motorcycling him right off the stage again. But no, so Inkling also beat Palutena. That is very, very interesting and crucial. Means Inkling has beaten both of the 8 and 11s who won today and are moving into 9 and 11 with Inkling. They already beat both of them, so Inkling's 2 and 0, and then it comes to Wario. If Wario gets in there or not, that's when all that really matters. If a 9-11, it's the only way a 9-11 can drop out of playoffs is if Wario wins. It makes it one more. If that happens, Wario defeated Inkling. So Inkling would be 2 and 1, and that's still okay though. That's still going to be enough to get one of the 3 spots for sure. Wario, in fact, would be good too because of that Inkling win, and also, of course, he has to win here. But then the Inkling win plus he beat Palutena, and if you don't factor in Inkling at all, what we have is Wario defeating Palutena, Pacman defeating Wario, and Palutena defeating Pacman. So they go into that if Wario wins and they all go up, they all go in 1 and 1 against each other. And so it would first and foremost come down to how do they rank against Inkling. And like I said, Wario's the only one who won that. So he's going to be 2 and 1 with Inkling, and he's definitely going to, if he wins, he is definitely in. I only said maybe earlier because I wanted to wait until I explained that to you, to tell you that yes, Wario is in an actual win and in situation. He's definitely in if he wins here. And then, unfortunately for Pacman, if Wario wins, Pacman's out because Pacman and Palutena in their head-to-head, Palutena defeated him, and that's what it would come down to tiebreak-wise for them. Not only would he, he would be out, and then also when the 2 that lost, Lucas and Falco, Falco defeated Lucas. Thus, Lucas is going to be the very, very bottom, meaning he's staying here in the blue division into next season. Falco is in the 15th spot in the moving middle then, so Falco's going to be moving on. He's not in the playoffs. He is moving. He's getting out of here, going to the yellow next season. Wario with another knockout. It took a while, but he didn't lose anything yet. 169 right now on him. He's tiny. He ate his fight at 168. Ken is, just probably not going to win this. Which means everything I just said is going to happen. It's going to be 9 and 11 Inkling, and then Wario. Actually, it could even be Wario and then Inkling for all we know. And then Palutena, and then Pacman 9 and 11 is just going to barely miss. It's going to be number 14. So 9-11 gets you in this division, but not for sure. There's going to be one extra that won't make it. How does that square with the other ones, you may ask? Well, we had 1, 8, and 12. 1, 2, 3. We had 5, 8, and 12s, one of which made it into the playoffs in the green, which is nuts. In the red, we had 1, 2. Wow, we had 5, 9, and 11s, and only one of those 9 and 11s, just like here, pretty much, just like here. One of the 9 and 11s didn't make it, but they had one extra. They had one extra. So that's that. That's that. Oh, look at that. Ken got Wario once. He is at 95, though, on his last stock. Wario not getting the launch there with the Super Mushroom, almost, though. Ken almost waited till he was under the stage to use his up B. Classic Ken move there. It's like the beginning of the match. Wario goes back for that Super Mushroom. Intelligently. See a lot more A than I most of the time in this league, right? Not quite gonna do it yet, Wario. Ken's gonna come back. You better watch out. Don't. That's a joke, but it's only like 10% not a joke, Wario. Don't let Ken come back in this one. That would be ridiculous. There it is. Wario. It's gonna take him a bit, 5 minutes, but he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it, and that is gonna put him either in number 11 or 12, but not 13. Definitely in the playoffs. Good job, Wario. And also, it's actually 2 wins worse than last season. He was 11 and 9 in a harder division than green. So he's done worse. He was actually doing much better in the beginning of the season, but hey, he made it just barely. He got back into it. That was a close one, though. And now, yeah, we already have all of that figured out. We have some slightly less meaningful matches, of course, coming up as always, but they're still big, and you'll see why in a moment. First up, we got the 14 and 5 Steve, part of that 4-way tie at 14 and 5. Of course, again, Ganondorf only 1 match above him, so if he loses, he opens the entire top 3 up to change. Steve is number 4 right now. He's not in it. He used to be in it. He's not in it now. It's actually, you know, it has actually switched around a bit, the top 3. Even Captain Falcon was there, who's not up nearly there anymore. Even Cloud was up there, who's way down at number 8 now. It's pretty close. It was pretty close up there for a while in the top of this division. Very strong division, for sure. That's at least what the records say. Let the record show. Steve needs a win, though, if he wants any chance to get it back into the top 3, because Snake and Sora both beat him already. Needs to hope for one of them to lose, pretty much. A win, and one of them losing. Been good for him right now, of course. Already got Fox down once. Fox pulls that Super Mushroom, though, before Steve can grab it. It's 56 on Fox's second, 102 on Steve's first. Poison Mushroom on Fox. Steve just taking it easy. Just chilling. Not really too worried about anything. Super Mushroom. Magma Block. Down goes Fox for his second stock. Steve still on his first. Trying to trick Fox off the side of the stage. Not gonna... Wait. Nope, not gonna work. Almost. And gets a Super Mushroom, though, for his struggles. What happens, he basically won stage control that he already had. Oh, alright, Fox will get one. Not gonna make it a flawless, at least. But, yeah, it's not boding well here for Fox. Not that it matters for him, again, obviously, he's 6 and 13. He's not going anywhere. Sure, 7 and 13 sounds much better, but he's just going to hit his head off the bottom of the stage because he really doesn't care if it's 7 and 13 or 6 and 14 or whatever. So there you go, Steve. Have a win. And that will be Steve having a chance at that top 3. As we move on to the next 14 and 5, eh? Rob versus Snake. Now, Rob actually made the playoffs last season, and he even won a match in the playoffs against none other than Ganondorf. So, you know, it's not exactly, again, Snake was 2 and 18 in the green last season. So as much as you want to think is a gimme because he's 14 and 5 now and Rob is 5 and 14, I don't know if it's really the case or not. I don't know. I don't know. We shall find out. Rob, again, of course, now playing for nothing this season anymore. Tied up right now. Kind of a slow... Oh. Snake just kind of trying to speed things up by just falling off the stage there. So it's taking slow to kind of establish itself, but no, Snake's like, oh, no, I'll help out. I'll help out. You'd think he'd want to win, seeing as how he's actually second place right now. He is in a win into the number 2, obviously, spot. Definitely the top 3. Maybe even number 1. I don't know if he beat Ganondorf. Some of them did. Steve did not beat Ganondorf. Who else do we have here? That's about all I can see other than the one who beat Ganon, who was Sora. Snake falls off again. Rob. I don't know if Snake can come back from this. It's possible. It's not easy at all. But we've seen it happen before. It's not undoable. But he's got like a 1% chance. Especially as he now took 18% already. And Rob is still here. 200% finally gets the knockout. He has maybe, I don't know, 10% chance now maybe. Damage from Rob there. Yeah, trying to knock Snake out of the... This would maybe knock him out of the top 3 completely already with 14 and 5 winning, and we still have 2 more left after this. Plus, not that it... I don't know if it'll matter or not, but Captain Falcon also 13 and 6, just behind them all. Even like they literally all the other ones lose and Captain Falcon wins because of tie-breaking things. He could still get 3rd with only 1 so far, 14 to 5 winning. And Snake now at 104 has Rob at 65 with this poison mushroom on Rob. Actually might get a second knockout here. But 104 on him, he's got like a 25% chance now, I would say. Nice, 92 on Rob. Comes back with some damage though. Another explosive connects with him. 108 to 113, Rob still up a stock. And that'll do it. Rob wins. That's what I said. But yeah, he's now 6 and 14 like Fox. They both did so bad. They were both 12 and 8 and 10 and 10 last season, both in the playoffs. Not this season. Both in the staying 6th in the very bottom. Snake is gonna probably fall out. Maybe not, but he might probably. He's got the best chance. If everybody else loses, then he has the best chance of getting number 3. But that's really the only way he gets in, is if all the other... It is the only way he gets in, is if all the other 14 and 5s lose. And I don't know if that'll happen. I do believe, however, that loss, Snake losing, puts Steve into the top 3 then. Because the only one who can now do better than him at that 15 and 5 spot is going to be Sora here. And that would only be number 2. we still have the 15 and 4 Ganondorf to go, as I keep mentioning. But all things considered, Sora should have an easy one here. We'll see though. You just never know. Pichu gets the first knockout. You see? You see? Exactly. See how Sora can respond. Wow, very well, apparently. Pichu down at 14. 4 and 15. Also, not playing for anything. It's interesting that all these 14 and 5 fighters are fighting against somebody who has nothing to play for. And next up, the last one of the 14 and 5s is Banjo. And he's up against Rosalina and Luma. So those 4 14 and 5s played 4 of the 5 that are already out of the playoffs. And the other one who played one of those was Wario at 8 and 11, the other guy who's fighting for something really important. I shouldn't say that. It's not like he's the only other one, because we still have, after all of these 14 and 5s go against their really easy opponents, we then have all the final matches are going to be determining our top 8. That's what we have left. So this division actually has so many different things left to determine. We started off, there was so many things, so many great matchups and things left to know that we were able to start off by determining our playoffs. And then now we go to determine our top 3, and then we get to determine our top 8. And that means who's staying and who's going from this season into next. Sora able to get the first knockout at stock 2 at the 2-stock battle against Pichu here. So it goes up a bit. A 110 on his second. Let's see how much more damage he can get. Another super mushroom for him here. 31 on Pichu's last. That's great for him. Pichu. No, Sora stops him from getting the poison mushroom. That helps Pichu for sure. Sora did not get it though, so that is also good. Pichu, Sora back to normal size. Pichu trying to use a little Thunder Shocks, so Sora just using a bunch of Firagas to counteract it. And it works. Pichu Super Mushroom not going to get Sora yet. The Poison Mushroom on Sora, though, might help. Bundaga hitting Pichu 63%. Sora getting a lot of damage on Pichu while he's still on his second stock. And the Blizzaga misses. That was important there for Pichu. He wants any chance, he needs the knockout now. Sora, not the one you want to let hang around. Getting a lot of extra chip damage on this last stock. Will he even be knocked out for the second? Maybe not. 95 on Pichu. It's anyone's knockout, especially with a super mushroom. Or that poison mushroom over there. Nope. Not gonna be grabbed. Nice move by Pichu. Oh, nice counter. Coming in strong there as Sora attempts a counter. Pichu counters right back with a counter. And down goes Sora, but 138 now on Pichu. The super mushroom kind of helping him, but not really. Just gonna help him remain on here. He's gonna need the mushroom help. He's got another super. Gonna need more of that if he's gonna have any chance. 145 to 26. Mushrooms galore. Pichu back to super size. Oh, is he gonna make it back? Yep. Sometimes you gotta worry about the super-sized fighters. Sora, is Sora gonna... Oh! Is Pichu gonna beat Sora? Could happen. Nope. Pichu pulls a poison mushroom. That's a poison Pichu. And there it is. Sora is going to be number 2. Steve is going to be number 3. They both beat Banjo. Sora has beaten both of them. And so even if Banjo wins, he can't make it in. But, you know, whatever. He can still play for a win. It's still something. He'll still make number 4 if he does. Better than number 5 where he's at, or even lower. Who knows where he'd end up. Who knows where he might end up. In fact, depending on matchups with Ganondorf, if Banjo wins and Ganon loses, then maybe he still makes it in to the top 3. I highly doubt he has a chance through Ganondorf loss, but maybe. I don't think so. It would have to depend on him. No, because he's beaten none of them. He's beaten literally none of them, and I'm pretty sure I did see earlier that Ganon beat Banjo. So yeah, it wouldn't matter. Too bad, Banjo, but that's okay. Good job, Sora. Number 2. And the top 3, the buys, of course, is great, but, you know, it only really gets you through 1 round for free, so... and other than that, it gets you maybe some easier matchups from then on, but other than that, you still gotta play in the playoffs like everybody else. Banjo's there for sure. He doesn't have to worry about that. Doesn't have to worry about getting in the top 8. All of that's good for him. He's done. He's done with all of it. Same with, well, of course, all of the 14 wins are in the top 8 for sure. In the playoffs for sure. In the top 8 for sure. Same with Captain Falcon at 13-6. He's the other one that's solid. We'll see him next. He's going to be up against Cloud. 12-7. And that is where things start becoming a question. For the top 8, that is. Not for the playoffs, we have determined that already. Ganondorf, Snake, Sora, Steve, Banjo, Captain Falcon, Roy, Cloud, not in that order necessarily, Meta Knight, Ness, they all made it already. We know, and then the last 3 are now going to go to Inkling, Wario, and Palutena. And those are your playoff contenders in the blue. Banjo right there in the thick of things. After the buys are taken out for round 1, he'll be, well, if he wins here, he'll actually be the highest seed without a buy. Number 4. Perhaps bodes well for him. Meaning he would, in that case, if he were to get number 4, if he wins here and gets number 4, then he would be up against, I assume it's gonna, yeah, it would be Palutena for sure. The only thing that might change is Wario and Inkling. Whoever beats who there is going to be... in fact, I'll tell you right now, it's Wario, because Wario in the... They would both be 2-1 in that 3-way tie. I'm sorry, wait. Yeah. Wait. No, there's... Duh, because there's 4. And so they are both 2-1 in the 4-way tie, where Palutena is 1-2. So the 2-1s head-to-head. Wario wins that. Wario is the top of those. And then we have Inkling going to 12th place, and then Palutena taking 13th there. And that's that. Banjo with a pretty decent lead here now. Looking like he will maybe go to number 4. Sitting at number 5 right now. Both are great. Either 14-6 or 15-5. Both amazing records to have. 15-5 could tie you with the number 1 record, though, if Ganon loses. It's got a tougher one. He's in the last one against Roy. For good reason. For good reason. Rosalina Luma trying to fight back here. Trying to give Banjo a run for their... Banjo and Kazooie a run for their money. Banjo and Kazooie versus Rosalina and Luma. It's like a 2-on-2 fight here. Something we don't see here, right? 2-on-2 fights. How about that? Wonder if there's something we could do about that. Never seeing anything except 1v1. I wonder. Perhaps like and subscribe. Stay tuned. Hit the notification bell. We're moving into the off season through the summer here. Next season, season 2, be back in the fall and in the early winter, and then straight into season 3 after that in the late winter and into the spring, just like this one here. Rosalina Luma able to eliminate Banjo and Kazooie one more time, but it's not going to matter with all that percent racked up on her. Down they go. Banjo and Kazooie are going to be number 4. So very close to making that top 3. So very close. But still, again, 15-5. What a great record. That is tied for the second best record from last season This season, of course, we're going to have some that are better than more than one record better than 15-5. In fact, I think we already do, maybe. Yeah, we have the 18-2 Bowser. We have the 16-4 Byleth and Donkey Kong in the green and the red. The Bowser 18-2 is in the green. There's some 16-4s already in the green as well. So yeah, 15-5, not quite going to be second. It's actually fourth best now. Ganondorf, though, has a chance to go 16-4. We shall see. We got two other matches that are probably more important than that one to come, though. Now, Captain Falcon isn't playing for a whole lot, although if Cloud beats him, then he might drop below Cloud in ranks. If Cloud wins, he secures top 8. Captain Falcon already secured top 8. So really the only thing that can happen is Cloud can win, get into the top 8 for sure, and maybe pass up Captain Falcon in that top 8. Roy 12-7 is going to be the other question, whether he can beat Ganondorf and go up, or whether he loses. If he loses and Meta Knight wins in his next match, next against Ness, then Meta Knight and Roy would tie, and if they tie in a two-way tie, Meta Knight wins that outright and would move into top 8. If Cloud loses, Meta Knight wins, and Roy loses, makes it a three-way tie, then we don't know which of those three wouldn't make the top 8. Two would, one would not. We'd have to look a little closer at basically a Meta Knight versus Cloud. Cloud with a nice return knockout there after Captain Falcon gets him first. All tied up, 2 stock. Captain Falcon first damage at the 2 stock, but gets a poison mushroom, and then Cloud bounces off the bottom of the stage. I wonder how many times I've said that this season. It seems like it's happening more and more often as we get to the end. Hopefully these fighters shape up a little bit before we get into the playoffs. I don't have any of that nonsense happening. Because again, these two are certainly, definitely, most definitely in the playoffs. And almost definitely in the top 8, although Cloud's trying to, you know, eliminate himself from that. Maybe he just wants to leave the blue. Maybe he wants to go to the yellow next season. So he's just like, yeah, I guess I'll give you the win. And then let fate do what it may with the rest of things. But he's actually probably the one that has the best chances if it were somehow, because the only way he goes out of the top 8. So I think he beat Meta Knight. Yeah, he must have beat Meta Knight, or else I would have had that in my notes that Meta Knight beat both him and Roy. But I don't. It only says he beat Meta Knight and Roy. Thus, it would be a three-way. They would all have one win against each other and one loss against each other. Cloud, Meta Knight, and Roy. And so it would come down to other things, like maybe a Captain Falcon win. But first, it would come down to we start at number 1. Does anybody have a win against number 1? If everyone's no, we go to the next. If there's a yes, then we stop. If there's 2 yeses, then they would, between those 2, would be better in the next matchup. Just a lot of nonsense so you can figure out who earns the higher spot in tiebreakers, right? Oh man, Captain Falcon, the poison mushroom, maybe gives Cloud a chance in this one. They were both taking a lot of percent. That really helped Captain Falcon a lot. 116 already on Cloud. And yes, no problem, Captain Falcon is going to take Cloud down. And that does make it iffy. A little iffier for Cloud. If Meta Knight loses, it doesn't even matter anymore. Meta Knight loss and Cloud and Roy are in for sure. But Meta Knight playing really well this season, so that is not a definite by no means. Captain Falcon, though, 4-6, amazing record. He was actually 13-7 last season, so Captain Falcon just got a win better than last season. Well done, Captain Falcon. Cloud new to the league, so 12-8, not exactly. I thought Cloud would maybe do a little better than that. I was kind of expecting like a 13-7 for him, but no, he's gonna end 12-8. And be on the brink of moving in the moving middle to the yellow. And here's Ness, that fighter that had that 15-5 record last season, in the blue here. now solidly in the moving middle. Definitely not going to be here next season. And possibly Meta Knight, who was 3-17, tied for the second worst record last season in the league. He actually has a chance of either staying now in the blue division, in Ness's division, stealing his spot, or he'll remain in the moving middle with Ness, and they'll both move on to the yellow together. Meta Knight almost got a knockout. Was that a poison Meta Knight? Or poison Ness almost getting a knockout there? Not quite. Meta Knight can fly. Not even fair. 69 to 103. Ness's lead, but Meta Knight's got the super. And again, of course. Great is a Cloud. Actually, you know what? I don't know if Meta Knight necessarily wanted to see Cloud lose. I feel like for Meta Knight, it was a simpler thing to see Cloud win and see Roy lose, and just go into that one, two-way tie matchup and just have that head-to-head tiebreaker with Roy already in the bag. That would get him into the top 8 easy. Now he's got to worry about other things, and it's only if Roy loses, of course, which was always the case. Ness gets the first knockout, but doesn't mean a whole lot right now. Although, some big damage. Meta Knight Supersize does get the knockout to return, but 46 and now 73 on Meta Knight after that attack. Ness! Man, that was huge. And remember, also, maybe if you haven't seen, I'll let you know, that I mentioned earlier about Super Mushrooms kind of being detrimental to fighters at times. That's mostly due oh no. It happens a lot with Ness and Lucas, and it's because and others actually, they just drop like a rock, but Ness and Lucas in particular have a lot of trouble hitting their PK Thunder rockets, we call them here, to launch themselves back to the stage. They have a lot of trouble aiming that whenever they're big or small. So that's been like one of their biggest downfalls. Of course, it's part of their recovery. So it's just what happens. It's just what happens. There are fighters with even worse recovery than them, so yeah. Ness does get knocked out again. 125 on Meta Knight with a nice shot, but Meta Knight not knocked out. The PK Thunder can he get a chain? 2 PK Thunders, 3, and that is going to be a Meta Knight knockout, 170%. 30 on Ness. Here we go. 1 stock each. Ness trying to tie Meta Knight at 11 and 9. And that would make Ness number 9, Meta Knight number 10. We'd steal his spot. Speaking of Meta Knight stealing Ness's top 8 spot, Ness would steal his rank. Spot in the standings right now with a win. Oh! Supersized PK Fire connects. That is huge, but it's not going to be enough. 66% from the dropkick, 75 to 67 now. Ness just tied it up again, and now again with the PK Thunder chains. No, Meta Knight blocks it with the up B. Trying to come over with that down B counter move thing. It's not going to happen, though. Oh, Ness is tiny. Meta Knight! Meta Knight! He just upbeat into the bottom of the stage. Are you serious, bro? Why? And just like that, he loses. Ness, poisoned, hanging on for dear life on the ledge, wins it. Just like that. Just in that exact fashion. And now they're both, again, 11 and 9. But again, Meta Knight was 3-17 last season, so no matter what he did here, it didn't matter. He's done incredibly. He would have had, by far, he would have had the most improved fighter from last season, except the 2-18 Snake from last season, the very worst, obviously doing better than him because he's 15 and 5 somehow. It's just ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. He's 14 and 6. He's the one that lost, but still, he's 14 and 6. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Anyway, that's that. We now know Meta Knight not going to make the top 8. These two are the top of the move in middle right here. Ness, number 9. Meta Knight, number 10. There you have it. And that goes into our 9 and 11s, Inkling, Wario, and Palutena. And of course, the one that didn't quite make it in, Pacman, into the playoffs, that is. And that's that. Now let's decide one more thing. Okay, I suppose maybe a couple more things. Since Cloud lost, Roy does have a chance to... no, never mind. Roy beat Cloud. Never mind. Cloud's definitely number 8, even with his loss, because Meta Knight lost. Roy's definitely number 7, because Meta Knight lost and Cloud lost. So even with Roy's loss, he's still tied with Cloud. He beat Cloud, so it doesn't matter. He's number 7. Yay. Good job, Roy. You're number 7. That's where you are. But, again, after the 2 division rounds, everybody who wins, there's 4 left in every division after the 2 rounds of divisional play, and they're all going to be just mashed up together based on their records. And so, if Roy can get an extra win, that could help more in the league playoffs, if he can get that far. Could help more than he knows, more than we know. Right now, he's actually remaining tied with Mini Ganondorf. And maybe that's why he's remaining tied. Because Ganondorf comes back to normal size and eliminates Roy. They were actually tied at 72%. Where Ganondorf remains with his first stock right now. And of course, the thing we're really determining is if Ganondorf drops to 15-5 with those other 3 that won from 14-5 today, or if he's going to remain by himself at 16-4 in this division. Of course, that would be number 1. Definitively trying to say, yes, that is my spot. Don't even think about it. Don't even think twice. Gets 2 knockouts so far on Roy. 117 on him. He's taken about whatever 72-ish from both of Roy's stock. And okay, Ganondorf flawless victory. Did Roy? Yeah, okay. No, Ganondorf wins. I don't know what to say about that. Good job, Roy, I guess. Definitely good job, Ganon. 143? Are you serious? That might be like the second time this season only that we had a sub 2-minute match. That may have been the fastest one, in fact. What in the world just happened? Is Ganondorf trying to prove a point or something? Maybe, because Roy is no pushover, obviously. There's a reason he's in the top 8, and he couldn't have fallen out of it with it, even with this loss. There's a reason for that. It's because he's not too bad. But hey, that's that for the blue. We're done. Now let's actually find out for sure where everyone's ended up, and we'll talk a little bit about, where people are going, what's happening, and of course, most importantly, matchups for the first round of playoffs. Yes! Oh man, all right. So we did already call most of this, so a whole lot won't be a surprise. Pacman defeated Lucas, of course, today. Palutena defeating Falco. Wario over Ken. Steve defeating Fox. Rob over Snake in a big upset. Sora defeated Pichu. Banjo over Rosalina. Captain Falcon over Cloud. Ness defeated Meta Knight. And Ganondorf defeated Roy in a huge, very fast win. That is 143 or whatever. Nuts. Ganondorf, that does secure that number 1 spot. No problemo for him. 16-4. Great record there. Great record. Behind him, we got the 3 15-5s. One of them can't make it in that top 3, those buys. That's going to be Sora, again, taking the number 2 spot. Steve takes the number 3 spot, and Banjo and Kazooie fall a little short, but still a great 15-5 record. Amazing 15-5 record. And, number 4 is still pretty good. Sora beat both of them. Steve beat Banjo. That's how they ended up where they did. Snake, 14-6, defeated Captain Falcon at 14-6, so they do remain, well, Captain Falcon remains where he was. Snake drops to the bottom of where the 14-5s were, Banjo's spot there. So he dropped a decent distance out the whole way out of the top 3, and but whatever, again, he still did 2-18 to 14-6. That's a ridiculous improvement. So he definitely gets that record, that award from last season, most improved from last season. In our promo season, few less fighters to get that award, but still a good one nonetheless. After those 14-6s, we got the 2 12-8s, Roy and Cloud, both losing today. The only 12-8s still, though, they're going to secure the top 8 there, and they're going to remain in their same positions. Still a decent record, though. 12-8's all right. 11-9 is okay, too. It's not going to make that top 8, but Ness takes the spot from Meta Knight with the win today. Number 9, Meta Knight number 10. Then our 4 9 and 11s, and just like those 15s, one of them couldn't make it into the playoffs. So we have Wario, just like we thought gonna have that top spot, defeating Inkling and Palutena both, but not Pacman. But having the 2-1 that puts him ahead. 2-1 Inkling though in that tie as well, but lost to Wario, and so that's why Inkling's going to be after Wario. Both of them making the playoffs though, and the last one to make it, the 1 and 2 in that group, of course, the 1 and 2 Palutena, who beat the 1 and 2 Pacman, the other one. They go 9 and 11. So Pacman just barely falling short. All he needed, maybe. Actually, you'd have to probably look back, because I think Falco actually, I think what Pacman really needed was Wario to lose. That was Pacman's really only way in. With that, he would have been all right. Even though he was the one who beat Wario, that would have been just one less 9 and 11, and that would have been him in for sure. But he's going to fall out. He's still going to be in the moving middle, going on to yellow. Probably matches him a little better when you say Pacman in the yellow division. Falco 8 and 12. He's going to be the 8 and 12 that makes it into the moving middle. Lucas 8 and 12 is going to fall out of it into that bottom 6, the staying 6. So he's going to remain in his blue division. I don't know. He went from 13 and 7 to now 8 and 12. Falco went from 12 and 8 to 8 and 12. Fox went to from 10 and 10 last season to now 6 and 14. Rob went from 12 and 8 to now 6 and 14 as well. So that was the worst fall, I guess, of all between all 4 of those. They're OG blue all together down there in the bottom now. Rob did the worst. Then we got Pichu 4 and 16, Ken 3 and 17, and Rosalina and Luma 3 and 17 as well. Obviously not very good. But that is where everything stands. That's that, guys. And there you have your new yellow division, the new middle of the yellow. Ness, Meta Knight, Wario, Inkling, Palutena, Pacman, and Falco. And it's going to be a weird blue division without Ness, but I guess we're just going to have to get used to it, huh? And also, Meta Knight and Wario making a bit of a tour so far, coming from the green this season into the blue, and now going through the blue and now into the yellow. Has anyone else done that, you may ask? From the green, from the red division, the first ones we saw, Marth came from the yellow. And he's the only one. So only Marth from the yellow then went to the red, and now he's going to the green himself. In the green this season that came from the red, who's moving to the blue here next season. That's actually going to be Link and Luigi. So 2 from the red initially in season 0 who played in the green this season, going to be moving through again into the blue. Like we said, we're going to have Meta Knight and Wario doing it here. See what the yellow has in store for us. There's some I'll guarantee you that are looking like it. Ice Climbers and Samus are the ones at the moment. Probably both of them going to be moving to the red. Anyway, let's talk about that real quick. They're set 21 in the yellow here. Incineroar, very top. He's going to start things off 15 and 4. That dark fiery cat against Pikachu 9 and 10, trying to fight for the playoffs still. Game & Watch, he's one of them fighting as well, 8 and 11. Versus Olimar, who's up at 12 and 7. Ice Climbers, there they are, 9 and 10. And they're taking on Min, 13 and 6. Daisy, down at 6 and 13. She's got Ridley, 13 and 6. And then we've got Richter, Sword Fighter, 14 and 5. Versus Wii Fit Trainer, 6 and 13. Richter, he's only 9 and 10 himself. He's taking on Sonic. Sonic, who's 7 and 12, just barely eliminated, but he is out. Then we got Samus, 8 and 11, taking on Duck Hunt at 4 and 15. He's bad, but Samus needs the win. Then we got Pokemon Trainer at 8 and 11, taking on 8 and 11 Joker. That's going to be incredible. And then we have the 11 and 8 Isabelle, taking on the 11 and 8 Robin, literally fighting for the top 8 right now. And then finally, in a very, I feel like it's just like almost a perfect match to end the entire regular season. It's going to be Sephiroth, another 11 and 8 versus another 11 and 8 in Ike. And so the last 2 matches, all 4 fighters are 11 and 8, fighting for those last 3 top 8 spots. Basically, one of them cannot make it. One of the 2 who lose will not get into that top 8. And that is where they are. That's pretty crazy. Zero Suit Samus on a bye, 8 and 12, just barely eliminated. She came so close after having not a good season last season. Came so close. She could actually still make the move in middle, maybe. If a bunch of others go 8 and 12 with her, maybe she does get in there. And then she would go from the blue to the yellow this season, and then into the red. Anyway, these guys, you may be wondering, you may already know because we talked about it, or maybe you just know how things work. Our matchups to come in this playoff round for the blue. They're 2 first division rounds. So of course, first we got our buys, which are Ganondorf, Sora, and Steve. They won't be fighting. Our 5 matchups are going to be the 4th seed Banjo and Kazooie taking on number 13 Palutena. Snake number 5 that is, taking on the number 12 Inkling, number 6 Captain Falcon versus the number 11 Wario, and that already doesn't seem like a great match. Inkling is even pretty tough, it seems like, right? It's like not exactly who you want to fight in the playoffs first round. And then we have the 7th place Roy taking on the 10th place Meta Knight. Again, another one that's just like it's up in the air. That was the Meta Knight beat Roy, remember? So that could go either way. And then finally we got the number 8 Cloud taking on the number 9 Ness. And that is going to be the first round, and then we'll have Ganondorf, the first rank, playing the worst of those 5 winners. Sora, second rank, playing the second worst. And then, of course, Steve, the third rank, playing the third worst. And the best 2 coming out of these first 5 rounds of playoffs will fight each other. That'll leave us with 4. They'll go up against the 4 from all the other divisions, leaving us with 16 for about 4 more rounds, that is, of playoffs, of league playoffs, to dwindle it down to just 1. Who will it be? Who do you think it will be? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe while you're at it. Appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Check everything else out we have on the channel, all the Pokemon stuff we do, streams and everything. I am Randy with Nerds Templar in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate AI League. Can't wait to see you for those playoffs. Peace.